Like, there's not even some kind of warning, like, are you sure you want to end stream or something like that. It's just like a button right next to where my sound controls are. I'm bad at this. Like, one would expect there would be some kind of like a warning or so, or like anything other than just one button that says end stream. But oh well. Sucks to suck, I guess. Sure. 2 streams in one day, right? Back to back. Oh yeah, I'm such a professional. Yay. Oh well. I wonder how long even have I been going now? Been like almost 2 hours now, I think. Anyway, back to sculpting and pretend that never happened. Because we're professional like that. And I'm completely stuck on how to pose her other arm. Suggestions, thoughts, feelings. Also, like, this hair in the back is going way too far up. Hi Jam, welcome to another stream. This time I'm super professional and didn't totally accidentally end the first stream instead of pressing mute. So pretty much for the, like Power Byte says, I put the origins where I need the rotation point to be, which you can just like, you can put the 3D cursor there. Wait, let me turn it on again so it's visible. No, the 3D cursor. Oh, if I turn on the origins, you can actually see it better. Essentially, I have all the origins, as you can see, and the places I want them to rotate from, and I can put them there. Essentially, either you can just put them there in the first place and then just shape it while the origin is in the right place, or you can use the 3D cursor and like in the view you can actually change the location of it. So like just move it to where it needed to be, and then put the origin there. There's an option if you search set origin and origin to 3D cursor, and then you just click on it and click to the one you want to rotate it with, and Control P object, which it's very useful for poses. It's what I usually use. Also, I have the things that are mirrored. I just copied and scaled it -1, and then clicked both of them and pressed Control L, I think. Yeah, Control L object and data, which means when I sculpt one of them, the other one will change too. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Which just makes it easier to keep the mirror while working on the poses and like the basic shapes and stuff like that. Also, I need to figure out in which direction the tail should swish, because she has like a big long fluffy tail, like a squirrel's tail, but like slightly longer and thinner. Yeah, it's pretty much like rigging but without a rig, and like very cheap. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, I rarely have situations where I need many of the same light, so I don't really ever use it for light. For usually, like, I just have a very basic 3-point lighting setup, which just I used to always have a sunlight for the main light, but I started using a point light because that just has a bit of a fall off, which is nice. But I can imagine, like, just for distributing lights around the scene and like filling stuff in, it's a lot, makes a lot of sense. This is the point of the stream, to share and learn stuff. I like, because like part of how I pretty much learn everything I learned is by watching like videos and streams and listening to other people's opinions. So it's like when I have the opportunity, which I have given the fact that I made a channel, I like to share it and like just have a place where other people can share stuff, where I can learn and like everybody can learn, and you can share opinions and stuff like that, which is always fun. Professional adjusting my mic while it's still on. Oh, I was looking for that recently, that continue the selection pattern, because I knew it existed, but I didn't know what key combination it was, and I wanted to like select like a loop around a sphere with every second loop, and I couldn't figure out how to get it, so I'll remember that hopefully. Because like I wanted to decimate, well, not really decimate an eye, but like unsubdivide an eye, but only in one direction, because it was fairly high poly and I needed it low poly for something. Yeah, that's totally the kind of thing I needed the other day. Definitely gonna remember that. Wait, plus on the numpad or the other plus? By the way, yeah, there's a plus on the numpad. Yeah, it's super practical. I used to have, when I was using my laptop, obviously it doesn't have a numpad. And when I switched, it's so practical just being able to like have the number row to like switch between vertex select and face select and edge select, and then having the numpad to change views. It's a bit impractical when I'm sculpting because I don't really have enough space on my desk for both my tablet and my keyboard. So my keyboard is like weirdly behind my tablet, so I can barely see the numpad, but I manage. It works. I would probably have a bit more space if I took my PC and put it under my desk, but then I couldn't look at the fancy, ugly fan that I installed in it with my own bare screwdrivers. And we have reached another situation in which Dan Topo is useful again. Isn't that cool? Could probably make it a lot lower res. It's probably a good idea, honestly. Let's make it... That's a terrible idea. Yeah, putting it to 0 isn't gonna work, but yeah. Because this is the kind of situation I need you... Why did you push so far to the side? I essentially just want to be able to just pull stuff out like this, which works well because the Topo just makes more topology to fill it in. And then when I've gotten the shape right and like inflated it and stuff like that, then I can go back to whatchamacallit, the ring measure, and continue work as usual. Jim, she isn't really that thick. She's pretty skinny, honestly. She doesn't really have much. Well, her her back end is still pretty round because I haven't actually done anything in terms of shaping it. But that's gonna change. She's a pretty slim, like skinny, almost person. but I guess her tail is pretty thick. So, depending on how you see it. No. Yeah, pretty much. It's like a squirrely kind of tail. It's really just long and skinny, but it has a lot of fluffy fur on it. I used to have it like pointy, almost like a long fox's tail, but at some point I changed it to be just really fluffy. And now she has a fluffy tail. Ooh, I love Clockbird's art. I don't know Remerin. I used to watch like Jaden Animations and Odd Ones Out a bit, but I haven't been much in a while. Not for any particular reason I can think of, but I don't know, I just haven't really gotten around to them, gotten into it that much, which is kind of odd. But yeah, I like Clockbird's art a lot. Aaron Blaze is I've forgotten how you say it, but Aaron Blaze or Aaron Blaze, wait, let me see. He's like an old Disney animator, and he has really cool art. Let me see, let me show you. Oh no, let me see what it's called exactly. I think he goes by Creature Teacher on YouTube. Or does he? I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, him. He has like really cool animal paintings and stuff like that. It's great. I also obviously watch some sculptors, like Jan sculpts once in a while. Though I don't really like his style that much anymore. And Danny Mac 3D. He also, I don't know how I came across it that one time, but doll customizing YouTubers also have some really cool stuff. Like it seems like such a random thing, but it's like a lot of painting and stuff. There's like Delightful is what she's called. She does like a lot of like customizing, like painting dolls and actually like sawing them apart and modifying the body with stuff. She has like a really cool dragon series going on, which is really cool. A really cool series, which is really cool. Words. That's exactly how they're supposed to work. Ooh, now that you sent me, Remerin's art definitely looks kind of familiar. I think I've seen it somewhere before. It's called Delightful, like dull and delightful, but mixed at the L. And it's quite cool. Does quite cool doll stuff. There are also a couple of other ones, but like Delightful is my favorite. Yeah, it's really fun. It seems like a kind of odd concept, but like once you've watched a couple of them, it's really fun and interesting to see. Like, but it kind of ruins it, I guess, if you like start thinking of it inside the Toy Story universe. Yeah, I'm also more into digital art, but I still like admire the traditional stuff. Speaking of traditional, I have a art homework that I still need to do at some point. Just haven't gotten around to being bothered much because it's something I can do fairly quickly. It's like we're supposed to take a historical photograph and sketch it, like draw it in. It was supposed to be charcoal originally, but since there's no school and he can't force everybody to buy charcoal, which it really wouldn't make sense, it's just like pencil, I guess. But I have charcoal, so I'll probably use them. I'm not sure. I like the way the blobby stuff is coming along. I might need to go back and I think look at some of the old sketches I have of her and see if I can get it to look better. Gonna see about that, but for now I'm just gonna remove them and make it just a regular round shape. I've done a little bit of anatomy. I got an anatomy course I really want to like dive into a bit more, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Like, I have a bunch of stuff I wanted to finish before I start on it, so I'm gonna do that at some point too. But yeah, the bit I've done has helped quite a lot actually. It's quite helpful. I found it actually, it wasn't too bad to study. It was a bit boring, but I think it's worth it. Hey, tech user. Welcome. Make yourself comfortable. I'm currently sculpting Lily. I was actually gonna make just a bust first, but now I'm making full body, I guess, which is also nice. I rarely do full body sculpts, so it's a bit of practice. Plus, I guess I can add it to my commission sheet when it's done. This is always good. Nope, I'm not gonna apologize and rake her. Probably, I mean I might, but probably not. I haven't planned to. So I'm gonna sculpt the pose as is. It's public. Oh, I had the link in the other stream, but I accidentally turned the stream off. And I accidentally ended stream instead of pressing mute, so I guess the description is back to what it was before. I'm gonna put the link in chat. I guess a temporary link at least. Here. So it's not completely fully done. I also still need to add stuff. Like I need to finish writing rules and stuff like that, but otherwise it's pretty done. Also, welcome Isaac and thanks. Here I've turned the music down a bit. Is that better? A lot of it is, I think, just the fact that I talk very quietly sometimes. So like usually it works fine, but then I'll talk quietly and then I don't come across as well. So what I've done here is I've linked all the objects together at the, like I took made one side pretty much, then mirrored it over and linked the objects. So at least while I have them in this like mixed stage, they're still completely connected and completely symmetrical, so by the time I merge them there won't be like a huge amount of difference I have to worry about. Plus I'm gonna add clothes and stuff that aren't gonna be perfectly symmetrical, so that's gonna cover a lot of it, I think, even if there's like a few basic stuff. Plus I think like it's a how do I phrase it? I'm bad at words. I think like it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. It's a lot of just trying to get it to look appealing. Like sometimes you'll make stuff slightly bigger and smaller on different sides just because it looks slightly odd the way it is, even when it's perfectly symmetrical. So yeah. But yeah, usually I would if I'm trying to model a character that I'm gonna retopologize later and like work more with, I'm definitely gonna sculpt, not in pose. So like in T-pose, I guess, or A is slightly better, but harder to sculpt in. While my voice is gone for some reason. You know, it's linked duplicates is essentially the entire mesh materials, like all the data there is. You can't really change that across whatever mode it is. It's pretty much, if there's a change to a mesh, it applies to all. If there's a change to a linked object, it applies to all the linked objects, independent of how or where the change was made. Except if it's like object mode, scaling and rotation and stuff like that. I still have absolutely no clue what to do with this second hand. Maybe I would give her like an object, but I don't know what kind of object she would be holding. Kind of frustrating. Anyway, I think I'll continue with like the other hand and the clothing and stuff first. So I actually sculpted this hair completely from spheres, but I actually wanted to try and use curve because I like how curved hair turns out. I still need to practice that a bit, but this one is fully sculpted, as I said. I'm gonna add curves on top of it for like detailing and like adding extra strands and stuff, because I feel like that's really what curves are the best at. The advantage of not using curves for like the base mesh is like you can add these stuff like this here where stuff merges together without having huge issues. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna add curves on top of it for extra details, because yeah, it looks pretty good. And I guess how much curves you use is gonna depend on what kind of hairstyle it is. Like for something long and wavy like this, there's definitely a lot of places where you can use curves. Or like these two hairs here, I could have also, well, they're not two hairs, they're like two strands of hairs. I could have definitely used curves to do them, but it doesn't really matter that much. But if it's something short, like the bangs or so, or like not necessarily short, but like choppy, there's definitely I definitely prefer using mesh because it just allows you to round the edges a little bit more. But yeah, it's mostly down to personal preference. The amount, I don't know, honestly. Like I'll just mess around until I'm happy with how it looks. I've been watching a couple of YouTubers lately, like Danny Mac 3D. He uses curves really nicely for hair. I've been watching some of like his videos and trying to steal some tips and tricks and like working out how he uses them. Haven't quite fully figured it out yet, but yeah, definitely would recommend his time lapses and stuff. So like take a look how how to do it, which I'm gonna do myself definitely in the future as I work on my curve hair skills. I think I'm gonna cut off the ears and make them a separate mesh, just to make it easier to pose them later, because the hair pretty much covers up the transition anyway. Yeah, it's definitely good for cleaning up stuff and like fixing, I guess fixing mistakes and just removing things completely and splitting them up. It's very practical. I don't use it much, but when I use it, it's really good. It's fine. I can also clean it up with just another mask slice if I want to, which seems like a good idea, honestly. I'll do it. I'm gonna do that. Boom. Yeah, that also sounds like a possible way to do it. Smooth filter. I keep forgetting that that exists, honestly. But yeah, probably could have done that.
Any ideas?
So pretty much, if you go to preferences, and navigation, I believe, yeah, then you can change the normal setting is trackball, which is like this, and you can't set the, make it tilt. And this is actually a piece of advice Julian Casper gave me when at Beacon, but he sets the and now me too. I set the set it to trackball, which means it's gonna, depending on where you grab, like you middle mouse click on the screen, it's gonna rotate the camera from there. So if you take the side, it's gonna tilt. If you take if you take anywhere around the edges, it's gonna tilt. If you go around the middle, it'll turn. Which is very practical for stuff like sculpting, because it means you can like go completely upside down and like look in cracks and stuff. Hello Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune. That's an interesting name. Welcome to the stream. Make yourself comfortable. Feel free to ask questions. You essentially take the mask, you mask something, and if you go to the mask slice, you can either just cut it off and leave like a hole, you can slice and fill, so you essentially close up the hole, and you can essentially take a piece out and separate it into new object, which is what I did with the ears, for example. They were part of the head at first, and then I sliced them off, and now they're separate objects, which is very, very practical for making things separate objects. What was I doing? No, I forgot. Oh yeah. So, nothing ever happened. Yeah, it definitely is. You no longer need to go into edit mode if you want to separate and take a piece and cut it off your main mesh. Or like struggle around with smoothing and pushing. Yeah, Powerbyte, I saw that. It's very nice of you. Definitely very thoughtful. That's the kind of thing I wouldn't have thought of, because I don't have any experience with setting up servers that are open like that public. Oof, that sounds painful. Like, how does something like that even happen? Like, who's so, like, who has so little life that they spend their time making bots and just have them DMing random people? It seems so weird to me. But yeah, definitely a good thing to not have that happen to the server. Pretty much like a budget capture. Whoop. Trouble has already begun to brew. Oh no. Oh well. We will see how this all goes. Yeah, I guess it kind of sucks. But I guess like Discord also has a lot of like useful bots, so I guess it's kind of hard to put in measures against bots without harming like the ones that are actually intentional. Like for example, I have whatchamacallit, reaction roles, for example, automatically DMs you whenever you do something. So I guess if you put in some like protection or something that some random user can't like DM this same message to a whole bunch of people at the same time, something like that would break. Probably part of the issue. Thanks, Jacob Krishon. True. I guess. Yeah, I guess that sucks. I mean, I don't know enough about how stuff like that works to really give any educated information about it. Oh yeah, makes sense to not allow that for normal users. Still definitely needs fixing them though. Pretty bad if something like that happens. Pretty annoying. I'm so confused by the sentence. You're welcome, happy to be positive. Okay, that makes more sense. I like positive vibes. But you know what the real positive vibes are? The real good vibrations? Cats. Cats give up really good vibrations. It's like my aunt's cat purrs really loudly, and it's very nice and comforting to just have like this big, chunky, friendly cat sitting next to you and purring. It's very nice. It gives off very good vibes. Literally. Foxes are cute, yeah. But you can't really have pet foxes. Well, you can, I guess, but it's not... What's an SM Zeus? Smzeus. Anyway, I like foxes, but I like cats too because they're like actual pets and not wild animals that you can't really have as pets. I mean, some people have pet foxes, but they're not like fully tame and like always a handful of when it comes to work and running around breaking things. So like I prefer an animal I can just sit down and pet. Especially my aunt's cat. I want my aunt's cat. She's very cute and friendly. I have like a very cute picture of her when I was visiting. In the morning, the cat just like came into my room and made herself comfortable in my suitcase. Very cute cats. Dogs are also cool, but dogs are like more work and less cuddly sometimes. But then it also depends on the dog. Some dogs are like super cuddly. Yep, cute and pretty cats are the best. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream pretty soon again. Like clean up a handful of things here and there. But yeah, I've been streaming for like 4 hours or something, like 3.5 hours now, and it's starting to get late and I still have other stuff I would like to do tonight, so gonna end in a couple of minutes. Ooh, I really like Maine Coons. They look really cute. They're really big with lots of fur. What I don't really like are like Persian cats and stuff, like the kinds of cats that have, and same thing with dogs, but like animals with a face that looks like they ran into a wall. Don't really like those that much. They also tend to have like medical issues, which aren't great. But yeah, like stuff like Maine Coons, or I think Norwegian forest cats are also similar. But I also kind of like these hairless cats. Like they're not really hairless cats. Like the Sphinx cats. It's like I've heard they have like not really proper fur like other cats, but like very, very thin fuzz all over their body, which It means they're actually quite soft. But obviously I haven't ever like actually had one or touched one, so I couldn't say from experience. But yeah. Thanks Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune. I do love me, I do enjoy how the antlers are turning out too. Yeah, that's the Zintinka. That's like the thing with many of the purebred animals. And it's more so with some breeds, because like in some breeds there are like these really, really specific things people expect from the breed. And to get it, you just tend to, the breeders like just kind of just have them breed without much control. And then they're obviously, well, they control it, but like they tend to then like breed the animals that already have these traits a lot, and they tend to be kind of related, so it's not super good for genetics of the animals. It's actually like the healthiest ones tend to be the mutts that don't really have any, like not mutt in the sense of two clearly defined breeds together, but mutt in the sense of just kind of a random mix of stuff, because they don't tend to have all the genetic issues from inbreeding other dogs have. Still don't know what to do with this hand here, this here hand. But oh well. And I need to see what kind of clothes exactly I'm gonna give her, because like I was stuck when I was first, when I'm still not quite done with her design and stuff, and like I've decided pretty much on like a pastel gothy kind of aesthetic. Hi KM kitties, we've just been talking about cats, how topical. Thank you and welcome to Sculpt. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I spent like the whole last stream we're just working on the hair. Like hands are tedious, definitely, but like in this situation it's not even just like the tediousness that's the problem. It's just like I don't even know what to do with the hands in the first place. Yeah, I considered making something like floaty magic-y, but she isn't really a magic related character, so I don't necessarily want to give her magic. I considered giving her like a baseball bat or something really edgy, because it feels like the kind of thing she would do. I just have like a baseball bat with like maybe like candy or something sticking out of it. But I'm not quite sure. Still need to, if I had properly written her character or something, I'd probably figure out something she likes. Yeah, cats, Jacob, Trisha, cats are like my favorite pets. My favorite animals are tiger, in case you couldn't guess that from my username and stuff. The thing is, she doesn't even play baseball. Like, her hobbies are literally just dressing up in pink and bright colors. The heart does sound cool, but I don't think it fits enough to her character. That's the problem. Oh, I'm jealous of you. I wish I had 2 cats. I love cats. Cats are cute. They're very soft and fluffy. Yeah, I would agree about tigers. They are great, but I wouldn't have one as a pet either. Seems like a terrible idea on very, very many levels. Honestly, Zintenga, that sounds kind of funny. I think I saw someone recently like a bat with like barbed wire, but instead of barbed wire, it was Christmas lights, which was also kind of funny. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do something along the lines of a baseball bat. I'm also gonna change her facial expression to be a bit more like the reference, like with the tongue sticking out and stuff. I keep forgetting that this navigation tool exists, but it's so practical. Just like if you hold down Alt and press middle click, you can just switch to different orthographic views. Also, by the way, is my frames dropping or something like that because like Streamlabs keeps flickering in and out of it being good. Ooh, yeah, honestly, it seems like a really terrible idea to own a tiger as a pet. It's like tigers definitely win, like just from a strength perspective. Like it's actually a situation that has happened multiple times before. Because just tigers are just generally bigger and stronger than lions. Lions have the advantage of a mane, but like that's the only advantage they have, and it generally isn't helpful enough. Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus. See, your name is so confusing because the planets are like the wrong way around each. Like it confuses me so much. Anyway, like for inner mouth, it's a good question. Like the only time I've really done much in terms of sculpting the inner mouth was when I made my dragon. I would say just like hollow it out, like the back, and add these like wavy things to the top of the mouth and like the bottom, I guess, and leave the objects separate, especially the teeth, since teeth are generally separate anyway in real life. So it makes sense to have them as separate objects. And you leave the tongue separate to start with. Depending on what you're going to do with it later, you might need to merge the tongue in too. But like start with it separately. Oh, lions ambush too. Like the advantage lions have technically is that lions work together in groups, but if you just had a singular lion and a singular tiger, usually in the cases where there have actually been altercations between tigers and lions, the tigers come out on top. Like there are individual cases once in a while where the lion actually wins, but usually it's the tiger. I might actually get around to sculpting inner mouth, since I'm gonna have change your mouth and keep it open. Cheetahs are honestly not too particularly dangerous. Like, they don't even have retractable claws. They're like the size of a dog. Slightly big dog, but like not too big. And they aren't particularly strong either. Like, really the only thing they have going for them is their ability to run really fast for a short time, which isn't particularly helpful if you're trying to fight against a tiger. But you know what would be really interesting? A tiger versus a honey badger. Because like, if you, it might sound a bit dumb, but like, if you read up on honey badgers, they're like really, really strong and aggressive, kind of like wolverines, but just like they go after things that are bigger and stronger than them just all the time. I mean, there are a couple of places where, especially, they're like Asian tigers actually. They're Asian lions, so they would probably be somewhere like Malaysia or something like that. Tigers don't really live like that deep in jungles though. They live more in like bushy areas and long grass and stuff like that. Honey badgers are great. They're like just these, imagine just this small creature, generally looking harmless, but like with this really messed up angry face coming at you. It's like, oh yeah, you're so cute and friendly, and it comes at you and just really mad, and like you see the lions and stuff going out of the way, and like every other creature is just like, nope, I'm out, nope. Very bad decisions. Don't fight the honey badger. Like, they're the stronger big brother of the slightly stronger big brother of the wolverine. Imagine a superhero called Honey Badger. Like, there's a Wolverine, and then like having like a similar character just with like a black and white suit called Honey Badger. Sounds kind of fun. Grizzly bear definitely bigger and stronger than tiger. Biggest cat versus biggest Ursa is definitely Ursa, or however you pronounce it. Like that would be a polar bear versus like a Siberian tiger. And I'm gonna say that one's on the polar bear because like they're literally the biggest land predators, and they're much strong. Oh, except maybe, I don't know, but grizzly bears might actually be bigger than polar bears. I'm not sure though. That's like grizzly and polar bear hybrids. But yeah, I'm gonna say bears are definitely stronger than big cats. I mean, but if the tiger just gets the bear while it's asleep, it's not really a fight then, is it? Like, most things could defeat a bear while it's asleep, if you can get it by the neck. Well, coyotes and badgers hunt together. It's not honey badgers. There are no honey badgers where there are coyotes. Coyotes are North American, honey badgers are African. But like, coyotes hunt together with regular American badgers. It's actually funny. I saw like a surveillance camera video recently of a polar bear, not a polar bear, a coyote and a badger like walking through a tunnel together, and the coyote is all like jumpy and playful, waiting for the honey badger, not the honey badger, the badger to come bumbling afterwards. After him, very cute. I've seen a lioness before in the wild, which is quite cool. She was kind of annoyed, and I didn't see any other wildlife that day, but there was a lion, which is cool. But I don't know, I feel like seeing a grizzly bear would be way more frightening than seeing a lion, because like the lion was just like sitting there. Pumas are pretty small, honestly. Definitely tiger, in terms of tiger versus puma. Ooh, that sounds kind of terrifying, just having this giant bear coming towards you. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna end the stream in like 10ish, 20 maybe more minutes if I stretch it. I guess that's kind of lucky. That means it just wasn't interested. I think I'd rather have a bear just walk past me and not look at me versus actually come towards me and take interest. I mean, there's some cute wildlife. I think technically like birds and stuff are wildlife, and they aren't. I mean, there are some terrifying birds, but for the most part, they're small and cute. Except for like cassowaries. Cassowaries are like emus. I recently read somewhere that emus, actually in Australia, when people are walking around, sometimes the emus will like follow behind them and come up to them and then like peck them in the back of the head and just run away. Baloo's nice. It's been a while since I watched Jungle Book. It's been like ages. I should watch that sometime again. So if I add the baseball bat, the problem is I'm gonna need to I would need to adjust the hair to make it. Then again, I could just like, oh no, have her holding it like on the ground. Yeah, cassowaries are quite dangerous. Like generally these, like, I guess these 3 species of big birds that walk around are generally quite dangerous because they have like really, really big claws. And they're sometimes kind of aggressive. And like, yeah, Australia is just generally a continent that tries to kill you whatever you do. just like poisonous plants, poisonous fish, poisonous snakes. Like, I think the top 10 most poisonous snakes all exist in Australia. Poisonous everything. Poisonous insects, spiders. Really sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, but it's scary. We're talking about random animals and who would win in a fight. Whilst sculpting a anthropomorphic wolf deer person. And you know what's also cool animals, like moose and elk and deer and stuff. Well, deer not so much, but like moose and elk are really cool animals. Yeah, I like moose. They're like genuine absolute units. Just like walking around. Oh, I also heard recently that moose can actually dive. Like, they tend to hang around rivers and stuff and like eat underwater plants, and sometimes they actually dive down to get underwater plants. Like, imagine you were diving in a river in something and suddenly underwater you encounter this massive diving moose and just look at it. That would be so scary. But also kind of cool. Yeah, we talked about emus recently. Emus are just such weird birds. But yeah, I do know about the emu war. Still kind of stuck on this hand. There's some big spiders in Africa, but I've never seen any like extremely massive, dangerous looking ones. Like, there's some big, I think they're called like golden, they're called like orb weavers, I think, but they aren't that big. Kim kittens, you mean like emus have killed people, or like the massive spiders have killed people? Because I'm pretty sure both is true. Ramukan, do you have any suggestions on what to do with her right arm? Yeah, I'm pretty sure emus have killed people. They have really long claws, so if they like, and they tend to kick when they're angry, so they do definitely have the ability to like stab you with their claw. The thing with tarantulas is they look kind of scary just because of their size, but they aren't extremely dangerous. Like, compared to many other things, their venom isn't like super strong. Or like, I'm pretty sure they are like wasp or something, wasp bite-esque. Not particularly like nice to have, but not gonna kill you. I don't know if that works with her pose, just having the arm behind her back. For a while I kind of wanted a pet tarantula, but it was kind of just to be edgy. Also, I heard like tarantulas, they seem like super scary and dangerous, but like they're scary and dangerous and stuff. But like actually they're super soft and squishy to the point like if you drop them accidentally, they have the consistency of like a ripe fruit and just like really make a mess on the ground and like splatter. It's not nice for like neither of you. Honestly, having a spider hanging from her hand seems like the kind of thing she'd have. Not gonna lie. Or she could have a pet tarantula like sitting on her hand. That would also be kind of cool. The idea of a giant wasp, I haven't ever seen the Japanese giant wasp, but just like the name itself already sounds like a bad idea. I have a my former, like where I used to live, my whatchamacallit, no, not really hairstylist, not really barber either, but like the lady who cut our hair where I used to live had two really huge pythons outside in a cave, in a big cage. They're like massive, but I don't think they were like tame or anything, just like existed in a cage. No, I don't think she has a snake, but she would definitely have a spider over a snake, or like maybe like black or rainbow boa or something like that, like a black snake with kind of rainbow reflection. That seems like the kind of things she might have too. I really need to think through her character. Definitely I know a lot more, I figured a lot more out about her sister. But I think she has a cooler design than her sister, which is the problem. What's a Gilia Monstera? That sounds like a terrible idea on so many levels. Bye, Power Bite. Let me see. So like spider or snake? What do you guys think? Cast your votes in chat. I mean, she is a 3D model. She isn't a like riggable, animatable 3D model though. I guess I haven't watched Beastars, but I have seen like stills, and I guess it does kind of look like a character that could be from there, except for maybe like the bright pink hair. Like Scorpion doesn't seem like the kind of thing she would have. Also, like, Scorpion isn't really a middle ground between a spider and a snake. It's pretty much a spider, just like worse, arguably, and without the webs. No, you can give it like a really ironic name, like something like Definitely Not a Robot, or like Recapture. Recapture would be kind of funny. Oh yeah, cute rainbow snake, like a rainbow bow or something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. Like, I've forgotten what it's called, but it's the same group of arthropods. A robot named Karen. But I feel like any time like in the future, Karen will just stop being like funny, I guess. It's the disadvantage of a meme name. Not even a meme name, it's just like a name that has been acquired by memes and will forever be associated with managers. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get towards the end of the stream right about now. Any last thoughts, feelings, stuff you want to say, mention? Oh, true, that robot is actually called Karen, isn't she? That's kind of funny. Yeah, so gonna end it. I've said that like 3 times now, but yeah, this is the. I don't even know how you go about ending a stream, honestly. But yeah, ending the stream. Bye. It has been fun sculpting and getting suggestions and stuff like that, and discussing various animals. Definitely gonna do another stream at some point in the near future. I would say tomorrow, but I'm not gonna make any promises, and I still have like other stuff I need to do that could interfere. But yeah, soon enough there will be another stream. Fear not. I really like the robots from Horizon Zero Dawn when it comes to like robots. I haven't played it myself, but I've watched I'm watching like a playthrough of it, and it looks super interesting and fun. And the robot designs are cool. Well, bye. The file has been saved. The stream is over. I have an end screen that I don't really know what to do with. Fun stuff.